I can't tell you how many young black women, girls, older black women find me online or they see me in person, and you can just feel that there's like a kinship and they feel so seen. When they let me know that they feel seen by something that Maggie Pierce is doing or something that I'm doing in the world, I feel like the rest is nonsense. I know I'm on the right track. I'm Kelly McCreary, and today I'm unfiltered. Who am I in 5 words? Well, I have to say that this probably changes, probably on a day-to-day basis, but right now I am a newlywed, artist, puppy mom, producer. Our new puppy is a lab mix. It's a rescue. We don't know what she's mixed with, but her name is Motown because she's got soul, and she's just like lighting up our whole lives. In the household I grew up in, my mom told us that the best way to stay looking young and keep your skin healthy was to never wear makeup. There was always a real contrast between what we thought of as beautiful in our household and what we saw on TV or what we saw in magazines. So I always thought of beauty as like people in their most natural state and where their inner light shining through and radiating. The most beautiful photos I see are the ones where people are just in a full-throated cackle. That was my first idea of beauty. Growing up in Milwaukee was, God, my parents did such an amazing job of just exposing us to the arts and athletics and making sure we were in great schools, and they were very engaged with our teachers and our education. It became clear to me later in life that this is not the typical experience of little black girls in Milwaukee. You know, it's a very segregated city. There's a huge disparity in wealth between black people and white people in the city. I became aware of my privilege, and I, became very, very grateful and also really excited to branch out. And from there, I went to New York City. So I went to college in New York at Barnard College, and then I was pounding the pavement for, a long time. I knew that I was building my career. I was happy to do this workshop of that play and that reading and like this tiny little guest star. And then it just reached a point where I felt like things were plateauing and I wasn't growing anymore, and I just hated myself. and I needed to wipe the slate clean. I made a list of all of the things that I would be interested in pursuing if I wasn't so single-mindedly, wholeheartedly devoted to acting. So I had a long list. And at the top of them was to learn Spanish. For a number of reasons. I think it's really important to be bilingual. I guess I'm going to Spain. I guess that's where I'll do this. So I did. I took myself on a hiatus, which I didn't know was going to be a hiatus, and just giving myself a chance to continue to grow. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. Jeez Louise. I guess it is emotional because I'm so grateful for what has happened since then. Rediscover myself and rediscover my passion for it and really know, that is what I want to do. I do think that it was such a great affirmation of really, really taking the time out to listen to yourself and get clear and forget about all the voices and the things you heard and stop conflating your value as a human being with your commercial value. I have to testify to that because I think it can be true for everyone. I often tell people, you only really need one really good fan to get you started. You got to get your foot in the door. And so the first Shondaland job I actually booked I was auditioning for just a couple of lines on Scandal. And I thought, I'd love to be on Scandal. Should I wait out for a better audition and not use my opportunity on that show on these couple of lines, or wait a minute, no, this is an opportunity. I can use these 2 lines to show myself off in that casting room. And sure enough, they were impressed.
Nice digs. Thought you'd have done a little better for yourself by now.
Straight life, you know how it is.
Can't say that I do. OID work up?
It works.
When do you need it by?
Yesterday.
For you, I will do my best.
And the role wound up being more than 2 lines, and then it became more than 1 episode. And then this role on Grey's came along.
Got a little bit of faith. You can stay here and be safe and sound when knowing exactly what's going to happen for the next 10 minutes, all right?
My first thought when I read that scene was, did Jackson just die? What happened? What's going on here? I had no idea, but I felt like it was such a great metaphor for what Maggie was experiencing in that moment. Jackson! Which was just that this person that she had previously felt so connected to, there was this fracture, and that person had disappeared from her. He was lost in the fog, both emotionally and literally in that moment for her.
You want to assign blame. More specifically, you want to assign blame to me. I'm the one that soaked. Am I blaming you for that?
Kinda.
I think for Maggie and Jackson to find their way back to one another, they frankly might have to keep having conversations like the one that they did right before he disappeared into the fog. There was some real truth and honesty being shared. Now, could they do it in a more loving way?
Do you hear yourself? Do you hear how patronizing that sounds?
Absolutely, if they want to stay together. I think that's what happens in relationships. You uncover these layers, you get to, everything's great, and then you get to a little friction, and then you gotta work your way out of that friction, and then things will be great again, and you get to some more friction. So, I think that's just the stage that they're at. Okay. I think I've been really lucky not to have myself, as Kelly McCreary, conflated with Maggie Pierce. Some of the feedback about Maggie can sound racist, frankly. And sometimes I wonder if it's I wonder if there's a particular aggression toward her. Because there is a great deal of aggression toward Black women just generally in the world. There's extra levels of misogyny and racism that come into play when you're a Black woman. On the other hand, horrible things have been said about and to some of my other castmates on the show. Even if they are just being mean because they're passionate about the show, it's that's real meanness. So you can't really engage with it. I try to have some compassion for whatever fear or pain or suffering that person must be going through to, then turn around and project it outwardly toward others. The flip side of the trolling, and this is what I really care about, is I can't tell you how many young Black women, girls, older Black women find me online or they see me in person and they have such, there's just this, you can just feel that there's there's a kinship and they feel so seen just by having me doing what I'm doing. Listen, the nerds out there, the awkward Black girls out there, the curly-haired Black girls, the ones who really struggle in their relationships, when they let me know that they feel seen by something that Maggie Pierce is doing or something that I'm doing in the world, I feel like the rest is nonsense. I know I'm on the right track. I know that we're doing, we being what we're doing in Grey's Anatomy and we being the organizations that I partner with, we're doing the right stuff out there. So I met my husband Pete while he was shadowing. That's what they call it when a director sort of follows another director around to see how the job is done. We kind of got to talking, and I realized pretty quickly, like, oh, wow, I could probably go on talking to him for a long time. So by the end of the episode, I was like, well, maybe I could just, find a way that is not inappropriate or awkward. I would love to continue talking with him, so just figure out how to get my number to him somehow. So that's what I did. I think that of the many, many blessings that Grey's Anatomy has offered me, I think I was, supposed to meet my husband there. It was one of the things that was fated to happen. Things would definitely be different if I hadn't taken that trip to Spain and wound up, eventually on Grey's and with Pete. My wedding day was so awesome. When we entered the reception as husband and wife, we walked into the space, which I had not seen before then, and it was more beautiful than I imagined. And there again were all of my beautiful family and friends, and it was just it was so beautiful. I mean, the whole thing was felt like it was even better than how we planned it to be. And it really took my breath away. Now I see beauty as fun. When I was younger, I thought, wearing a wig or wearing a weave or adding hair to your own hair, that was a way of hiding myself. But now I feel the opposite. I feel like it's a way of expressing myself. And I feel the same way about makeup. Makeup is a little bit different for me because I'm not that good at doing it on myself. I enjoy wearing it. I enjoy stepping into a different persona. And I really love it when a whole look comes together. It's not for me, for my everyday. My personal style, I would define as no fuss, comfort chic. I try to let my skin be my face forward, I guess. It's a lot different than when I was younger and thought that if I did that, I wasn't telling the truth. Now I'm realizing that there's so many ways, there are so many truths about me now. I'm a grown woman and I've had a lot of experiences and I have different moods and different ways of expressing myself, and it's just a tool, and it's a fun tool to play with. Thank you. Oh, that was so fun. And my face is clean. I don't even have to go home and wash my face.